All right, what's going on, y'all? I'm gonna do something a little different in this video. I don't know specifically what you guys and girls like hearing on my videos, but I'm just gonna talk about what happened with me. I finally found the date a little while ago, and if you hear something in the background, that's my radiator. It's loud as hell, so it might even mess up this video. I hope it doesn't, but whatever, it's whatever. But I found the date where I had my concussion. It was November 14th, 2003, when I had my concussion. And I just want to explain what happened, and I want to explain why I am the way I am a little bit, and changes that happened and other things, and maybe there's someone that can relate to this. I'm not going to make the story real long because I don't want to bore y'all, but here's what happened. My senior year in football, I was on the kickoff return team, and Halifax, you can even look up the game if you want. It's PIAA football, 2003, Pennsylvania. But Halifax was kicking this way towards us, and I was on this side in the front, and my cousin was here. And they didn't kick a full kick. They kicked an onside kick right towards me. I was like this, and they kicked it right towards me. And when they kicked the ball, it was bouncing. Like, he kicked it perfect. He couldn't have kicked it any better. It was bouncing like do, like skipping towards me. And all I remember is I was going down to get the ball. Like, I bent down and my neck was down like this, if you can see me, and my hand went down to get the ball. And as I went to go do that, one guy hit me in my head, directly on the right side of my head, and another guy hit me low somewhere. I don't even know. I might have got hit by like 3 guys. I really don't know how many dudes I got hit by, but I think I got hit by 3 because I know I got hit in my head and I got hit on my side. And to this day, my right shoulder and the right side of my head is where I got really hit hard. And if you can look really closely, you can't see it now, but my right eye droops. And then ever since then, and I got hit really bad. Really bad. Like, I got my head pulverized. And see, when I got hit, I'm explaining this to y'all so I can explain further in the video how I became the person I am today. Because it was all from that hit, that concussion. It completely changed my life. But when I got hit and I was down to get the ball, I got hit here. My neck got jammed back. I went like this, and I flew back. And I flew back like almost 5 yards. Like, that's how hard I got hit by these guys. And when I flew back, boom, I hit the back part of my head here. Right here. And then to this day, when I get up or I stand up, I have this like pressure in the back of my neck. It feels like the back of my head is like not cement, but like a hard paste, like, and the blood doesn't flow right or something. So what I think happened, I think my spine and my neck got jammed, and it did something to my head. And you can't see it real good, but when I wake up, my eyes are like, like my eyes are really buggy and stuff, and they're better now. When I first woke up about a half hour ago, and if I'd have got on this video, you can see my eyes they're like this. Like, I can't control it. Like, there's something that happened to my neck, my head. Like, my eyes probably got, because I have vision problems. I see sparkles all day long, and I see floaters. I have 3 different things in my vision. I have sparkles. They're like green, purple, white, yellow sparkles that fly around all the time. And I have floaters, and I have auras in my vision that I get all the time, and I get really bad headaches. But the reason I'm explaining this to y'all is because ever since November 14th, 2003, My personality and everything changed on that day. I haven't been the same person ever since that happened. And the reason I'm telling y'all this is because I might not ever be speaking to you the way that I'm speaking to you on this channel now if those things wouldn't have happened. Even though I struggle with them every day. I struggle with these things every day. These pre-concussion, or however you say it, problems. It's been 18 years. It's been 18 years that I have been living with this. And let me tell you, it has took a toll on my mental health and other things. I'm doing my best to eat healthy. I'm doing my best to get some exercise, not Bruce Lee exercise or an athlete exercise. You know, I walk and I do other things. But let me tell you, that day, everything changed for me on that day. You know, like I said, my personality, everything. And like, as I'm talking sometimes, I'm a pretty good speaker, but I'll lose train of thought like this. Like that, and I won't remember little words like what I want to say. Like right now, I can't think of what I want to say now, so I'm kind of stuck in the video, but that's cool. That'll happen with me, and that's why I just wanted to explain to y'all. Now it's coming again. Now I'm getting a wave of like remembering what I wanted to say, but I used to be completely different. See, this is the crazy thing. I was that guy that was going to everyone else's houses to see how they were doing and to say, hey, what's going on? What's going on with everybody? Let's talk. Let's sit down and talk. Let's do something. Let's take a walk. Like, I was that guy that was doing that with people. And it's kind of really weird because I live by myself in York County, Pennsylvania. And I went from that person to the person I am now, and it's kind of like I died. It's kind of like I've been dead for so long, because it's almost like everyone I used to know and I used to always be around, everybody would always tell me, Nate, don't you have a home? Like, don't you have a mom and dad? Don't you have a family? I'd be like, yeah, I have a family. I just like moving around and getting to know people and be around people and relate to people and stuff. And I have to say, I did have some great times, but then I was kind of out of place because it wasn't my family. It wasn't my people, you know? And that kind of made me feel some type of way when I would go to places that weren't my family. Because at the time, you know, there's a lot that goes into this. I can't sit here and explain my whole story. It would take hours for me to explain everything, even days, weeks maybe. But at that time, my brother, Earl, that passed away, that I talked about in some of my older videos, he was, excuse me, I hate when my throat does that, y'all. I do that sometimes in my videos. Excuse me. My brother Earl was in and out of jail. My dad wasn't really around too much at that time. I would only see him once in a while. And this was all throughout my life up until just a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Like, my dad, he's around a lot more now lately, and he even helps me out and stuff. So that's cool. A lot of things changed, but I was always at my house by myself. My mom would go to work, and then I'd have the house all by myself. But see, at that time, I think this is how I turned into kind of like a skitsy kind of, you know, a little paranoid kind of guy, because I'd always be at my mom's by myself, and that's why I would go to other people's houses and do things. That was one reason. But I didn't want to be there by myself. And my brother Kazzy, he was in and out of jail, and he was there sometimes, but most of the time I'd be there by myself. And I was like, I don't want to be here by myself. I hate being by myself. But if I could go back, even though that house was pretty scary and like I thought it was haunted at the time, you know, these were, I don't know, maybe there are demons and stuff, and maybe there is whatever. I don't know. I'm not getting into that, but I thought that, you know, there was demons, you know, doing things to me in my sleep. And I mean, I had some really weird shit happen in that house, and stuff happened with my whole family. You know, I'm not going to get into that because now I think that it was just all in our heads. But there was some really weird, evil, bad shit that was going on. And it wasn't us. It wasn't us being, it was just the thought of what we thought was going on, I think. I don't know, but I don't believe in that stuff anymore. So, and I don't know, it might be from me having this concussion. It might have drove me away from that, because I know there was a time where I was convinced of God and Jesus Christ died for me, and you know, these demons are after me, and you know, I'm my own downfall, which we are. But anyway, that's that's a whole nother story in and of itself. I just wanted to talk about this. And there's so much I can talk about. I really don't know one particular thing to talk about because it's really weird. You know, I get on here and I tell y'all about one side of my life, but yet I'm another person too. You see, it's kind of like I'm 2 or 3 different people. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, you got a personality disorder and all this stuff. I don't like using labels for things. It's just, there's some times where I'm in my funks, you know, I'm in my funk and I'm like, I got to get out of this. And it's really hard to get out where I'm out of. But I'm starting to learn to accept that. I have to accept when I'm in those, you know, dark, quote, dark places. Renegade number 1 talked about this in a video, is being comfortable and accepting your dark side. And that doesn't mean go around killing people and hurting people and stuff. I'm not talking about that kind of dark side. See, there's always more than 2 sides to every story. There's actually many sides to the coin. You know, it ain't just heads or tails when you say a dark place. There's so many things that go into that. Cheers, everyone. Folgers, instant Folgers. Get it. It's good. And I still am some of what I was back before November 14th, 2003. It took me a while to find the date. I don't know why I couldn't find it. It's Halifax versus Steel High in football, Pennsylvania football, 2003. It was a district final game. And then we played Southern Columbia after that, and they came out hard at the second half and ended up crushing us, you know. And that game, I remember that game, my head was feeling weird still. Like I still was feeling the effects from getting hit, and I didn't want to get hit by anybody. I was scared to death because my head was, I still had a headache. It was still floating, like things were moving like this. And that game, I even had 2 good punts. I had 2 really good punts. I was the punter on my team. I had a really strong leg because I used to be able to jump real high because I used to work out all the time. I mean, I used to be able to leap. I'm only 5'10", and I used to be able to dunk on 10 feet. So I used to be really into these things. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all, is I was a totally different guy. Like, I was motivated. I had crazy motivation. Like, they called me, some of my nicknames were the Energizer Bunny, Nasty Nate. People would joke around and be like, you know, Nazi Nate and Big Nate and Crazy Nate, all this stuff. Like, I had so many nicknames because I used to be so many places and I used to be so wild and stuff. And when that concussion happened too, it did something. It turned me into a different person. It kind of took me from here to here, and then over time down here. And that's why I'm trying to get comfortable, and I'm trying to be real with myself, because even when I get on here, it's still like I still talk a tiny bit different, you know, because I know this is going to be reaching other people, and other people are going to be listening to it. But I don't want to feel like that. I just want to talk as though I'm kind of speaking to myself, even though to some people that's kind of crazy and nuts. But I do talk to myself. I talk to myself a lot because I don't have people to talk to. But if any of you do talk to yourself, keep a limit on it, because it can become a dangerous thing if you do too much of it. Just like anything else, if you do too much of something, it's not good. If you do too little of something, it's not good. And that's why I always talk about this balance. And I'm not always going to be what I am in this video, because that's the changes that go on up here that some of the things I kind of can't control and help. And I talked about this in my other videos to y'all, but I still have a rational decision. I can still make a choice whether to do something or not. But the brain plays tricks on you. Don't go for this. Don't go for this thing. I'm not saying that you think the same way that I do. I'm not saying you're the same person. But there's a lot of things in our head. They're not even true. They're not even true. And I think it took a lot of suffering and a lot of pain and a lot of reflecting on myself for me to see this as a person that, see, I lost train of thought, what I was talking about. Sorry about that, y'all. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I'm talking and I completely lose train of thought. And I didn't try to do that. I did lose train of thought. But what am I going to do about it? You know, it's a mistake. And see, with the mistake thing, it's only a mistake when you say it's a mistake, or it's only a failure when you say it's a failure. It's only when you say that to yourself, when it becomes a mistake or a failure. You can't fail, you can't make a mistake unless your mind is telling you that you did. There ain't no such thing as mistakes or failures. You just keep learning in this game of life, you know? And it really sucks that when I'm talking like that and I lose train of thought, there you go. You got an example of what happens because of that and what it does sometimes. I completely lost train of thought of what I was going to say. So there you go. You have it first person. That's me being as real as I can be with y'all. I ain't going to edit the video. I'm not going to edit the video out because of something that I humanly did, you know? So, but the video is getting kind of long here. I don't know how much you guys or you ladies get into these videos, but I wanted to put that out there because when I'm talking about something, I want y'all to understand this. When I'm talking about something, that doesn't always mean that I am going to be what it is that I'm talking about, or you can't hold me accountable for something that I said 2 or 3 videos ago or even a video ago, because I'm constantly changing and being new. Now, when I say change, I'm not talking about being phony or corny or not being myself. I'm just saying my brain is constantly going, you know, it's kind of all over the place. And this is something that I really struggle with. And that's why I said something in the beginning. I do kind of think I have a schizophrenic personality, because that's what happened when that happened, it caused me to have these uncontrollable thoughts and like things saying, do this. No, but do that. No, don't do that, but do this. No, don't go that way. Go this way. Like, it's really hard for me to make decisions and to say, okay, I'm going to do this today. Okay, I'm going to do that in an hour. I'm going to do clothes in an hour and wash clothes. It's very hard for me to do that. And I know you can't probably understand, because I don't know how many of you might have had head injuries or problems, but it's really hard to explain to people. And this isn't an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's really not. I wish it was so that I could do something about it, but it's not. This is doing things sometimes that, how can I say it? I'm in control, but this does things sometimes where I can't organize. I can't organize my thoughts, and I can't organize what I'm doing, and my head's all over the place, and I can't think of what I'm going to say. If I don't take the medication I take, I couldn't talk like I'm talking to you the way that I'm talking to you. I'd have very hard time talking to you because it just wouldn't be the same. It does something to my brain where it brings my thoughts and everything into order and then into one place. If I didn't, I'd say one thing, then go to the next thing, then go to another thing, then go to another thing. And that's kind of what I do in these videos. I kind of do go from one thing to the other because that's how life is. Our minds are constantly going and going and going. And some people's minds don't do that. Some people's minds ain't like other minds. So that's why I try to say, don't label and judge other people, because you never know what they're thinking or going through or what's going on in their lives. Try to get an idea or talk to them like a human and say, okay, what's going on with you? Let me know. And listen. Don't tell people what to do and all that. Just listen to what they're telling you. Just listen for once, So I'm going to end the video there. This is way too long. I don't like making videos over 20 minutes. But anyway, thanks for joining the SBN Lifestyle. This is SBN Resonate, Natural Nate Classics. I go by so many things. I got so many names that I developed over time. But right now, I like SBN Resonate, and I think that's what I'm going to stick with. So let the video resonate, and may you be what you are today. That's it. Later, y'all.